This is Dom from Blacktoad Studio, and this is a retro codex review. This is a series going through and reviewing old codexes, some of which I owned, others I haven't. And today we will be doing the Chaos Codex. So this is the second edition Chaos Codex, released back in March 1996. Quite a while ago now, and this is a codex I actually owned. This is not the exact copy, but I did own this codex. I owned it when it was released back in 96, and I had it living in my school bag for many years. Well, for many years, for years. I absolutely love this book. It's amazing, and so I'm quite happy to review this one, and hopefully some of my passion will come off on this codex here. So this codex, compared to the Chaos Codex that we all know and love, this one here, is a little bit smaller than the current codex. The current codex, I think, is 168 pages. This one's 145, so a little bit smaller. Although, as you go through this, it is absolutely brimming with content, and in my argument is it's a better codex in a lot of ways. Just really for the content rather than the rules. If anyone played second edition, it was pretty hard going. So in this book, compared to the Chaos Space Marine book, which obviously the Chaos Space Marine book just contains Chaos Space Marines, this one contains Chaos Marines, Chaos Cults, Demons, and even Fallen Angels. So a lot of stuff in this book. Let's have a little look through. We flick some pages. So as you can see, you've got a nice bit of colour there. But throughout this book, the artwork, except for on the covers, is pretty much black and white. Of course, got some photos in here, which is pretty amazing. You've got a nice big content here. There's so much stuff in this book. It is unbelievable. As you can see, it's written here by Andy Chambers and Jervis Johnson. Now, you know, I don't need to go any further. These two people pretty much made Warhammer 40,000, as we know. And it's amazing. These two people are just, there's so many good books that I've gone through. For instance, Andy Chambers, when I played fantasy, he wrote the Skaven book, and an amazing book for Skaven. And yeah, awesome stuff. So as you can see, going through these pages, the black and white pictures, in my opinion, are brilliant. They're absolutely gorgeous, and they're all done by hand. They're not like the new artwork. A lot of it's kind of computer generated, and this one is just, it's lovely. A lot of Blanche-esque and Blanche artwork in here. I think also Mark Gibbons has done quite a bit of artwork in here. So if you're unfamiliar with Mark Gibbons, I'll try and point out some of his pictures as we go through. But yep, awesome stuff. So as we go through, once again, a bit more Blanche artwork there. It just shows you what they were kind of going with for Chaos, and Blanche kind of gets it across perfectly, in my opinion. And as we go through here, we've got the Horus Heresy. Now in this book here, in my opinion, the Horus Heresy really came to life. They really fleshed it out a lot more in this book than they have previously. And a lot of this stuff, although it has changed in the Black Library series and in 40k lore at the moment, we're going through some of the more recent books, it has changed. Obviously the Black Library series has definitely been a big influence on the codexes. This was amazing. As a teenager, although there's a lot of things going on for a teenager, reading this stuff here time and time again, you just became fascinated with the Horus Heresy. And back then you had no other like text to read really in regards to the heresy. If you go look at the Horus Heresy now, there's so much content, but back then not a great deal. And you're trying to work out who the Primarchs were for each legion. And yeah, this book was just full of stuff. As you go through, you'll just see all the backgrounds. And this book really kind of released so much content for Chaos and how Chaos are now. So up here we can see a little picture of Khan the Betrayer by Blanche, most probably. So it's a bit different, but you can see who it is straight away there. Plasma Pistol, Gore Child, Bunny Ears, Chains, that is Khan. And we go through here, it just goes through all this brilliant story. Although there are a few changes, obviously, that have happened in the last 20 odd years. This is very much the original stuff. And then going through here as well, We have got a lot on the legions. So down here we've got Death Guard, one of the Plague Marines. I think that, yeah, that's by Mark Gibbons. There we go. So it's signature down there is marked there. And you can see that really what they wanted from Death Guard. This is basically the forerunner for Death Guard as we know them now. Word Bearers, got a nice little section there. Night Lords, Alpha Legion, Emperor's Children, and little kind of sections here on the Gods, Thousand Suns, Black Legion, Iron Warriors. This book is just brimming of content. If you ever really wanted to just have a book just for the sake of reading, this is the book you want. Rules, as I said, completely unapplicable now, but the content here is brilliant. World Eaters, my first love. Now the Long War as well. I think this was the first time that the actual concept of a long war was introduced to the Chaos Space Marines, and it's all started here. So this book really, as a Chaos player, is a must-have in my opinion. If you can get hold of a copy on eBay like I did, they're normally quite cheap. It's really worth picking up. The First Battle for Armageddon. So this is a good thing about the old books. There's so much story and background in here, and you kind of think, you know, you can just read this constantly. And as I said, as a teenager, I was reading this all the time. It was brilliant. Got about the Badab War there as well. So another section of Chaos history, and something that's kind of, I wouldn't say ignored, but it's a part that's kind of overlooked quite a bit. And here we are. As far as I know, this is the first mention of the Badab War, actually. So this could be, yeah, front runner there. Forces of Chaos, bit more artwork here. I mean, this is just lovely sections to break up the book. And brilliant bit of artwork there. Also by Mark Gibbons there. It's just lovely. So this is one of the bits of artwork that made me want to collect World Eaters. Just this guy is just ferocious. Look at him. And then over here we have got the Chaos Gods. Now each of the Chaos Gods obviously adds something in here. So let's go by the Mark of Nurgle. Champions bearing the Mark of Nurgle are swollen with corruption, their armour barely containing their bloated bodies. Because their bodies are dulled with disease and partly rotted away, they feel little pain and can endure considerable injury without discomfort. A Chaos Champion of Nurgle always adds a +1 to his toughness on account of his hugely bloated body. So there you go. So these were obviously for the champions rather than the basic troops. And it's, yeah, little things like that. I think that's brand new in there, well, new at the time. Then we get into the unit entries. So we've got Chaos Space Marines here, going through their stat line. They haven't really changed. Back in the day, if you're unfamiliar, Ballistic Skill 4, Weapon Skill 4 was not the role of a floor of 4 you needed. It was on a separate table, and a 4 was Ballistic Skill 4 when you'd need a 3-up. So that's pretty much stayed the same here. Rapid fire. Oh, he's quite a nice little rule there. And down here, you've got Chaos Space Marine veterans. Now, likewise, their kind of stats have changed slightly. Also, initiative is the initiative step as well. So it's a little bit different there. Weapon skill, but skill 5. It's a little bit different, but there you go. But 1 attack. Infiltration. Brilliant. And then you've got sorcerers there. All different types of sorcerer. Sorcerer, Sorcerer Champion, Master of Sorcerer, Sorcerer Lord, all the sorcerers. People wanted a sorcerer, there you go. You can kind of go through here. Once again, introduce cult troops here. Some of the first cult troops I got were the Khorne Berserkers. We'll probably see them later in the book. They were brilliant, so easy to make. Put 1 bolt gun arm on. Thousand Suns, so you used to have the metal ones, just 1 cast ones. Chaos Space Marine Terminators. This book just brings back so many memories. Like the Terminators were classic old school metal ones. This was before the spikes came out, so the Chaos Corruption kind of sculpted onto the models, old Rogue Trader ones. I remember ordering one before I went to the US, and it had a power sword and like a combi bolter. It was a champion. It was amazing. Like, as soon as I got back from America, the only thing I wanted to do was get home and find my mail-ordered Chaos Champion. There you go. Plague Marines as well. Plastic Plague Marines at some point came out. They had, hopefully they'll be in here as well. And they were quite nice. Noise Marines. Look at that. That looks familiar, that model there, that artwork there, doesn't it? Really influential on the one they released. And sorry, there is a couple of coloured ones. As you can kind of see in the book, if you can make out, there's a bit of a faded one, but you've got your coloured like inserts here. Yeah, another bit of World Eater art. I mean, Games Workshop straight away, we're trying to sell you World Eaters. And this is brilliant. If I could get a print of this and put it on my wall, I would, because I love this bit of artwork. And once again, that's Mark Gibbons. I might have a look, see if I can get one. So then we go into the heavy metal. As you can see, that's a brand new model there. Bad under the spoiler. Recently, of course, he's got a new model. But there we go. I think I had a bad one. I remember having a lightning claw on him, and the socket was so full of super glue. It was beyond a joke trying to glue metal models. Had to like chisel it out. I had some of these Chaos Terminators, but the ones I was referring to before, even older than these. If I find a picture, I'll put them up on our Instagram. But yeah, there you go. And down here as well, got some more Chaos Space Marines. Let's kind of zoom in a bit on this. So, you see there, got a little symbol here. It's going to pop up on quite a few of these pictures up in this review. And this is the symbol for conversions. So back in the day, GW were not afraid of conversions and would quite happily sell you the ideas. So on this one over here, you can see it's got like a combi bolter from Terminator. And these conversions are really kind of inspiring, because back as a kid you couldn't afford all these brand new models, so you'd be looking around for what you could get. A lot of these guys as well, you'd get the metal body and the plastic arms that you'd stick on. And as you can see here, it's kind of before a lot of the transfers were coming out for Chaos. This is all kind of done by hand, a lot of these things. And over here, like I said before, good old World Eaters and the plastic Berserkers. I had so many of these guys, and this was the only part, the backpack and this arm you could pose up and down, but the rest of it completely static. So simple compared to the models we get now. You could paint so many of them. Old Khan, you can see a slightly later model there. Still stands up in a lot of ways, in my opinion. He's a very good sculpt. Juggernauts of Khorne. Moving across, some different World Eaters. So they did release a banner bearer, an icon bearer. At this point though, he wasn't released. So this is a conversion once again there. And then down here, we've got some Flesh Hounds and Chaos Demons fighting against some Catachan jungle fighters. And yeah, good luck to them. That's what I say. But just going through the legions here, like I said, at this point, not many, like especially the undivided ones, didn't have any particular dedicated models, and they were just really kind of fleshing out a lot of the background here. So you got Night Lords, a couple of conversions again. You've got the champion here as a conversion. We've got an icon bearer here. That is just a really good conversion actually. A lot of these models I'll probably still have in my army if I could, like a Craziest kind of thing there, like a Maul. A couple more converted Terminators. Conversions are all over the place. The old Dreadnought. This was, if you drop this on someone from the top of the stairs, you would probably kill them. These things were heavy as anything. I had one of these. I also had the old school Rogue Trader one, which very different now compared to this. This you might still be able to get away with it in normal games, really. Quite a cool model. So more conversions here. Tentacles coming down on that arm. And this is the veteran squad. Like these models, I definitely had this guy. Heavy bolter I didn't. I always wanted the heavy bolter, but unfortunately I didn't get the heavy bolter. Because as a kid, you're not flush with funds. So here we are, Plague Marines. I had lots of Plague Marines, and you can kind of see the plastic ones. So that was a plastic one there. Not really spoiled for poses. Very similar to, and there you go, it's one out on it. Same as the Berserkers. Backpack and one arm as posable things. Also had some of the metal ones. They're still really good models. Of course, we're kind of spoilt now with the design work they're able to do. And down here as well, got some more Plague Marines. This one's led by Chaos Champion of Chaos. There you go. A Chaos Terminator Champion of Chaos, or a Chaos Champion of Chaos. And then over here we've got Iron Warriors, Iron Within brothers, Iron Within. And once again, that's quite a cool little addition now. You just notice that you've got like a wooden axe. Not a wooden axe, an old like medieval axe there. It's quite nice. It's definitely for siege and trench work. Nice centerpiece here of Chaos Army. Converted Predator here with the old Great Unclean one kind of moulded into the hull of the tank. Abandoned Despoiler obviously is up here. Now, good thing to mention about Abandoned Despoiler and this book in general. This book really introduced a lot of the special characters that we know and love in the current lore. And over time, like everything else, over time they've definitely kind of added more to it. Kind of Betrayer over there. And let's carry on going through. So this is the renaissance of Chaos. Then we've got Fabius. So Fabius, obviously, new model has been announced. This is the old model. Back then, I used to have this model as well. The Chaos Army I used to have probably would be more Black Legion than anything else, because there was a lot of different gods in there. Some Thousand Suns here. So you can see here, but a helm. There's a couple of models that just really used the old Chaos Marines and added in there. So it says here about converting Chaos Marines. So they're really quite keen in this book that you kind of go out and convert your own models, which I'm still very keen on. Although the sculpts are getting harder now to kind of convert things. Like down here you've got John Blanche's Chaos Space Marines. Got Mephiston there being converted to Chaos. Well done, John, well done. And you've got other models down here. And it's really kind of influenced myself for the early Chaos that I was doing. There's lots of kind of melted bits in, and kind of they looked a lot like these. Obviously not to the same level as John, but the style is what I was going for as a teenager. Now, this is what it's all about. This is John Blanche's kind of trial work. I don't know what the actual term would be, but what they were kind of aiming for each legion. So a lot of convert, like this. Let's focus here on the word bearers. So you've got a deep red armor here, backpacks, spikes from cocktail sticks. So there you go. This is kind of along the lines of Rogue Trader here. They're still kind of going, look, if you've got it at home, use it. Heads and torsos from Imperial Space Marine figures, i.e. chaplains. So I use chaplain models. Brilliant for Dark Apostles. Dark Apostles still weren't a thing, but this is definitely what they were going for. And down here, they're saying, invent your own chapter colours. Create different painted armour effects, cracked or crazy paving. Try marbling by allowing colour to drip or run. There you go. So they're kind of giving you advice here, but also they're kind of going, look, if you want that style of army, you've got to put these things into consideration. And they're just brilliant. Just keep reading through this book here, like Chaos Knight Helms. We've all done it. As we go right through here, classic map. Quite easy to read compared to some of the newer maps here. Got a lot of the Chaos planets. And like I say, you start to get some stories. The content is just rammed, absolutely rammed with content. Now, as I said as well, you start to introduce demons in this codex, and so I'm going to go through it a little bit here. So you got the Chaos Corn demons here, got Bloodthirster, Bloodletters, Fleshhounds, Juggernauts, Demonettes, Keeper of Secrets. So back then, if you're unfamiliar, you only had one sort of Chaos Greater Demon of Khorne. You don't have the free and the special character one, as it were. You'd have the one. Same here in Nurgle. Like a lot of these remain the same. Obviously, since then there have been new units introduced. So, like for instance, for the Nurgle, you've only got Greater Clean one, Nurgling, Plague Bearers, and Beast of Nurgle. You haven't got any of the other bits in there. And it goes about summoning, earning summoning points. There you go. Demons that have been purchased for an army can be summoned into play during the psychic phase. So there you go, straight away. almost as it is now. Used to be this way as well. In order to summon a demon model, you must first collect summoning points. It requires 2 summoning points to call up a demon and 10 summoning points to call up a greater demon. The points used to summon the demon are lost, and the demon model is placed within 6 inches of a model bearing the Chaos mark, the mark of Chaos of Demon Patron God. Summoning points are earned different for each Chaos power. So over here, it then shows you how to do it, how to get some more points. So it depends on who you want. So it's quite complicated in compared to like 8th edition. 2nd edition definitely was a bit more hard going. And over here as well, you've got about possessing teleporting troops. So for instance, if you had warp spiders and warp spiders wanted to keep jumping across the battlefield and jumping in and out of the warp, there was a chance of possession. And if you possess someone, you can then replace it with a demon. So this, I definitely did this. I kind of almost encourage your opponent to teleporting, and I think warp spiders were definitely got terminators as well. But warp spiders, I definitely tried to possess them in the past. So there's some really cool rules here. And then here we go choosing a target against demons. So how to choose the targets. A lot of these rules are put in here specifically for the unit or the entry. Kind of now in 8th edition, it tends to be very generic. Here's a very specific kind of rule set here. So you'd have to go through this with a fine tooth comb. We've got some demon psychic powers along here, chaos sorcerers and what they'll be able to take. And then over here, vulnerabilities and immunities. So you've got the likes of Death Spinner and Harlequin's Kiss. Demons are allowed to take their demon aura save against these weapons, but are otherwise affected by them normally. So you kind of have to go through all of these, and you've got to know your army to help your opponent, because there's so much stuff in here. Really needs to kind of get read through a few times. Then you've got Chaos Rewards. So once again, you've got your Axe Corn, that's 15 points, and you kind of go through all these bits here, and you'd work your way into a nice little army. Icons. So, like we have icons now, you've got icons there. So you've got your god-specific ones. Slaanesh, Nurgle, Tzeentch, Khorne, Banner of Rage, Flesh Banner, Warp Banner. Very nice. Chaos War Gear. And you go through here as well. So, for instance, Terminator armor, back in the day, Terminator armor gives its wearer an armor save throw of 3+ on 2d6. So there you go. You of course have save modifiers, but a 3+ on 2d6 is pretty good, isn't it? Really. You got other bits here. Then the weaponry of chaos. A lot of familiar weapons here. But what we tend to have is you have a bit more story behind some of these weapons. So for instance, the chain axe here, you've actually got a little entry. You've got how the affects the rules down here. But down here you've got a bit about the actual weapon itself, which is quite nice. Noise marine weapons, dreadnoughts. Oh, dreadnoughts. There's a lot of stuff here for dreadnought weapons. I'm going to go through a couple of pages. And another story there. Slaves to darkness. And we go through. So, back in these days, both for fantasy and 40k, you'd have to spend your army points, percentage of which. So, for instance, here, at least 25% of your army points must be spent on squads. Most Chaos Space Marine squads can have from 3 to 9 models. There you go. So in here you've got, this is how you'd make your army up. So you go down here, you work out what points you'd have, and then you'd start working through there, and you'd have your allies as well. So the points allocated for support are also used to buy allied troops such as orcs or chaos cultists. Potential allies are indicated in the list to choose allies, referred to the separate Warhammer 40,000 army lists from the allies that you wish to include. So you've got these kind of nice little sections here. You have to pick an army character to lead your army. post-heresy weaponry. So go through here, it basically says that Chaos, they all ran away from the Siege of Terror, ran into the Eye, and since then some war gear has been created. You can use this war gear, although it's going to be a bit of a tax compared to your normal stuff. So you end up spending, I think, blah, 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 blah. However, if you decide to do this, any equipment taken from the Ultramarine list will cost an additional 50% over and above its normal cost. There you go. So yeah, it represents the rarity. So look, I mean, this is the difference from 2nd edition to 8th edition, where this seems to be all about the story and the narrative you're trying to bring to a battle, where 8th edition, although you have narrative, a lot of it is very competitive play. So we're going to carry on going through. So we got, once again, we've got the breakdown at the top here of the army selection. And down here we go through the entries, what you can have. A lot of it is very familiar to what you currently see. So you've got veterans, terminators, space marines, chaos space marines, plague marines, berserkers, Faust and Sons, noise marines, bikers, and then you've got your support choices here. I don't think there's anything that you don't normally have. And then you've got demons. So you got all your demon sections here, and then here we go, special characters. Abaddon the Despoiler, War Master of Chaos. And look at all this. It's 2 pages. We've got a page of story, a little bit more story down here, and then you got a bit more about his individual bits of war gear he has. And yeah. So like bodyguards. Abaddon may be accompanied by a bodyguard of up to 4 Chaos Space Marine Terminators chosen from the Chaos Space Marine list. There you go. Nice. Khan the Betrayer, once again, also. I mean, this, like I said before, this Mark Gibbons. This is brilliant. I mean, it's almost biblical, isn't it, really? Very, very cool. And along there, we've got some more bits here. Fabius. New model coming out. Very loyal to the original artwork. Down here, look at that stat line. Jeez. Zoom in on that a little bit. What's going on here? You'd be here all day trying to work that out. You never have the same Fabius once. More than once. And then we go across. Huron Blackheart. So I always forget how old Huron Blackheart is, but yeah, he's featuring here in this this codex. I was going to use more of a newer model. Harriman. Clearly he didn't deserve to have his own picture. That's a lot of story there. Broken up here. Story. So the only one you don't see really, I mean, obviously they've introduced since then, a few since then, but you're missing Typhus and Lucius as 2 examples there. Another bit of artwork, move on, and then some heavy metal here. So we saw this one earlier, the old Predator with a Great Unclean One lodged in the front there. And a few more conversions here. So there we go, look, nice open top rhino kind of look there for the Iron Warriors, just so they can get out and start shooting people. And it's quite a cool conversion actually. You can see that, like a Reaper autocannon, very cool. A bit of classic old terrain there, the fire base, and then you'd have your vehicle entry sheets. What I quite liked about these is you could have your crew in there as well. So it'd actually tell you, in a Land Raider, you'd have 1 driver and 2 Chaos Space Marine gunners. And then in a Predator, you'd have 3 gunners and 1 driver. And then on the back there, as you do damage, you'd have a little narrative, or a little bit of what actually happens. So if you rolled a 1 on the hull damage for the twin heavy bolters mounted on the hull are destroyed and may no longer be used. So you've also got a little bit there. I don't know anyone who actually cut them out. I feel a bit sorry. I remember photocopying them, going down to the local shop to photocopy them and then use them. But yeah, cutting them out. Oh dear, heresy. Doom Siren templates there, as well as Blight Grenade markers. Got Chaos rewards. So like I said earlier in the Codex, you could get some rewards for your Chaos and spend the points for them before game. Vehicle upgrades, war gear cards. Remember people, don't cut these out. Then you think you're done. There's another army. Lost and the Damned. Wow. So a bit of story here on the Lost and Damned here. As you know, I'm a Renegade player and I love the whole narrative of the mortals joining the Astartes in battle. So here you got the breakdown once again. What you can take. See, Gene Stealer Cult. There you go, they were there back then they disappeared before they even got Codex. And then got all the rules here. Beastman Pack, very cool. Demon World Army List, so this is definitely a mix. So for instance, on here as well, you have got Chaos Warriors. You could have anything really. This is like very Rogue Trader. This is just brilliant. And Minotaurs or Minotaurs, Trolls, Chaos Hounds. Oh, such good stuff. Such good stuff. Spawn. And then you've got the Demon Prince characters. So at the back, you've got some more characters here. Weapon skill 10 for obviously Demon Prince of Khorne. Doombreed there. And once more, you've got so much stuff here. I mean, these guys don't get as much as the Chaos Space Marines. They've got tiny entry compared to what we saw with the Chaos Space Marine special characters. But then again, you know, these are almost, in my opinion, like a second thought. And then we've got the Fallen Angels at the back. So Cypher, once again, he's loving life and he's here. So he's got, oh geez, look at his rules. Cypher is protected by chaos power, though nobody knows who or what this power is. This power carefully protects Cypher, spiriting him away at the last moment if danger threatens. This is represented by allowing Cypher a 4+ unmodified save on 3d6. That's ridiculous. Against any attack or other cause of damage. Yeah, I remember playing this against my cousin and it was so much fun. Yeah, and then at the back, very similar to what we have now. Got like a unit entry with some weapons on there as well. And yeah, this is the the Chaos Codex, not even the Chaos Space Marine Codex. And a lot of little bits, little nods to the White Dwarf magazine and mail order. And yeah, I really absolutely love this book. I'm going to keep going through it a couple more times. Guys, if you've had this book, please put down your thoughts and if you really enjoyed it or if you thought it was a bit naff compared to the newer ones. But yeah, that is my Chaos Codex review. I hope you've all enjoyed it and I've taken some of you down memory lane. Up to you, a bit of an eye-opener for what Chaos are and where they came from. This book has a lot to answer for of where Chaos are now, and yeah, I absolutely loved it. So hopefully I'll be doing a few more of these reviews. But until then, this is Dom from Blacktoad Studios. Thank you very much for your time and let the gods protect. I'll see you next time.